What's up, Squared Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos. Real quick, if you guys are looking to get sealed product, don't forget to sign up for the Patreon. We have the best prices online. We've partnered with our sponsor, Computer and Gaming Universe. So if you guys are looking to get sealed product at a reduced price, don't forget to check out the Patreon, and we'll get you those boxes and stuff that you need right away. Um, so today, what we're going to be talking about, obviously, is probably old news, but I wanted to put my 2 cents in. We're going to be talking about Bandai's decision to take SS3 off of the watch list and also limit Flute to one starting September 21st. So let's get right into it. Let's look at the leader first. So here we have Son Goku. His permanent is you can only charge 6 energy. Up to 6 energy, rather. His effect is place 1 card from your hand in the drop area. If you have no energy, you can place 2 cards from your life and add them to your energy. So what you do is turn 1, you skip your charge phase, you discard a card, you take 2 out of life and put them in your energy zone. So basically what that allows you to do is play 2 energy ahead of your opponent for the entire game, or 1 energy ahead, rather, and it gets you closer to your awakening state. This is a Awaken at 4 or less, flip over, draw 2 cards, and then you have Heightened Evolution Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku, which has the same permanent. You can only charge up to 6 energy, but its auto is at the end of every turn. You can choose up to 3 of your energy and switch them to active mode, and when this card attacks, draw a card. So Bandai decided to, a few months ago, put this on a watch list. Basically, what had happened in the past is they also put the Mecha Frieza leader on a watch list, and eventually they eroded it because they came to the conclusion that it was too powerful for the current game state. So they put SS3 on the watch list because a lot of people were complaining about the leader, and just a lot of people were playing the same decks and the same leader and stuff like that. So Bandai decided to just take a closer look and see how it was affecting the metagame. So this past Friday, they made the decision to take SS3 off of the watch list because they felt like it wasn't negatively affecting the meta. They came up with some numbers, or they did some digging and they did some calculations, and they found that SS3 was used in 50% of the top, winning decks. I would love to see that spreadsheet. I would love to see where they got those numbers, but I feel like it's more like 70 to 80%, but I digress. They felt like it wasn't detrimental to the meta moving forward, and they also felt like SS3, because of that ability at the end of the turn to untap 3 energy, gives you a variety of building, specific decks. So certain cards that might be considered unplayable in the meta now have a place at home with SS3 because of that training wheel's ability to be able to reset 3 of your energy at the end of the turn, allowing you to play aggressively on offense, but also have the recovery on defense so that you don't get blown out your next turn by tapping out. So I guess in a way that's good because it's giving you access to different variations in game design. But at the end of the day, the best variant of the SS3 is red-blue. Having access to Chain Zeno, which literally answers every card in the game, is disgusting, especially having it as early as turn 2. And just having utility, SS3 is probably one of the only leaders that can play Chain Attack Zeno and follow it up with Hit or Burst Attack Gohan. It's insane. It's just, there's so much advantage to it. There are other decks in the format, I think, that can compete successfully and efficiently with SS3, but hands down, I think Red-Blue SS3 is going to be the best deck moving forward in the format as we get closer and closer to Set 5. Maybe World Tournament, but I don't think World Tournament is going to have as big of an impact on the metagame as Tournament of Power did. So I think SS3 Red-Blue is going to be the meta for the foreseeable future until we get Set 5. So they didn't hit it. I thought it should have been errata to just include blue energy, like the starter deck Goku, which we had 2 formats ago, where when it attacks, it resets the blue energy. I thought that maybe they would just do that. So you would kind of hinder it to playing mono blue, which mono blue is still a competitive deck. It just loses the chain attack Zeno. But they decided not to do that, and they're leaving the card the way it is. So for those of you SS3 players, I'm sure you guys are happy. I'm gonna have to build an SS3 deck now just because, and I choose not to play him, but I guess why not, right? But I mean, I do like the leader a lot. When set 3 was released, I thought this was going to be the best leader in the set, and everybody was focusing more on like the other leaders, like apes and with apes and stuff like that. But I had a feeling this was going to be a really good leader because of that ability of untapping energy at the end of the turn. You don't realize how strong that is until you've played the deck, or until you're playing against it. It's just annoying to, your opponent doesn't get punished for being bad or for playing bad. And it's just one of those things. It's definitely a helmet deck. SS3 players are rejoicing worldwide right now because their card is not going anywhere. And in a way, it kind of got stronger. So on top of not touching SS3 at all and taking it off of the watch list, Bandai decided to, effective September 1st, limit the legendary Flute to one copy. So it's getting the ultimate treatment. I mean, Flute is definitely busted. It's a very, very powerful card, especially because it has utility on both players' turns. But if you're going to put it to one, just ban it. I don't think anybody's going to play one Flute. And if they do, there's going to be that time where they're drawing cards to combo out of a shotgun and they draw into Flute and they're 5k short. I mean, I could see that situation happening like 100% of the time. Like, I don't think once Flute gets hit and you're only allowed to run one copy in your deck, I really don't see it continuing to get play. Now, what that means, basically these aggro like storm decks are going to slow down. I don't think they're going to be able to turbo you out turn 1 or 2. It might progress the game 1 or 2 more turns, so by turn 3 or 4 they're winning, but it definitely does hinder their plays a little bit because they're not going to be able to recycle the same card. So where if you're playing Harudegarn and they're playing, the intensifying power Trunks turn 1, and they tap a red, they attack, take a life, unyielding, they can't put that Trunks back in their hand. So if they don't have another one to play, they essentially can't do anything. So the thing with Flute was you keep using the same battle card. And because it allows you to draw, you're also filtering through your deck on a much quicker rate than your opponent is. So, in my opinion, Flute was overpowered. Yeah, for sure. This card definitely had to get touched somehow, and it definitely did because Flute just gives blue like just an unfair advantage because it's the only color that can use it with the leaders and stuff like that. So, ooh. So it does give blue an unfair advantage because it's the only color that can use that. So I knew from the beginning this card was going to be a problem. But if you're going to limit it, just ban it. I mean, just ban it. I mean, no one's going to use Flute at 1. And if they do, they're ballsy. I give that guy a lot of credit who's playing Legendary Flute in 1 copy in his deck. But it's like Flute is one of those cards where if you're not playing at least 2, it's not going to make that big of a difference. So 1 is not going to do anything for you. It might extend a combo just 1 extra step. But if that was the case, just ban the card. Just say, you can't use this card. It's too overpowered. We weren't thinking when we printed this card, and we clearly did not playtest it. But that's the decisions that were made. Whatever. I've already adjusted my decks to take Flute out, and they still work just fine. Everybody's talking about the Vegeta lock not working without Flute. I don't know if I'm playing it wrong, but I don't have any problems playing that deck without Flute. Like, that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I have the sauce that nobody has, but Flute does not make or break any deck. It just extends plays. If anything, the deck that gets the most hurt from it is probably Harudegarn, or Red-Blue Harudegarn, because it's not going to be able to bounce back those intensifying power Trunkses or Kabbas to reuse them. Maybe that's the only thing that gets hit. I mean, SS3 is not going to really have that cute interaction where they can bounce back a Raging Spirit Gohan back to their hand and then use it again next turn. That's really annoying, so I'm glad that's gone. But, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, you could tech in that one legendary Flute if you're going to use it, I guess, the way it was intended to be used, to bounce back one of your opponent's cards to their hand. Like if they have a blocker or something, you can just bounce it back. But again, I don't think one is going to make or break your deck. So that's just my opinion on what happened. You know, I would have done it differently, but that's why they make the big bucks up there, because they make all the hard decisions and we just enjoy the game and play the game. So I guess just adapt. For all you Flute players, your decks aren't dead. Just revisit the drawing board, just re-look at everything, and just continue to play your game. Don't let the meta define you. Always define the meta. And if you're comfortable with something, continue to play it. Don't give up on it just because one card was limited, or because one card is, it's so good that everybody thinks it's like the main strategy of the deck. No, I mean, it's definitely cute, and it's definitely an awesome piece to help facilitate and continue to replay your cards, but I don't think it's going to make or break anybody's deck strategy. That's all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you guys haven't already, check out the Patreon. I'm gonna go more in depth on my Patreon. I'm gonna write an article about this, and maybe some what's it called? Some substitutions for this card, because there is a substitution for this card that people might not know about. So I'm probably going to write an article sometime this week on my Patreon. It'll be exclusive to my Patreon. So if you guys haven't already checked that out, please do so. And if you're looking for sealed product, remember, we have the best prices online. So just come check us out. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Click that notification bell so you get that little ding in your notification box next time I drop a video. Thanks for all the support. Shout out to the Squared Nation. Without you guys, none of this is possible. We made it. We'll see you in the next video. Be there or be squared.